YouTube fam? It's Dark Angel's Journey. I'm Shakira. So it's time to take a look at the weekend review, see how I could have, what I can learn from last week's trading. Let's go through the account, my micro account that I'm using for trading. I'm definitely starting my trading journey, my live trading journey with micros because I love the idea of taking partials. So if I want to trade one mini, I can trade 10 micros. And what I've been doing the last 2 weeks that's been working really well is I can set my thing on and then take 8 contracts off and then let the last two run. And that's been beautiful. Anyway, so let's get tiny. Also, this is probably, I'm not really sure right now, but it might be the last video I do for the year. Because I mean, it's coming up on the Christmas time, and now I'm saying, now I mean. And it's relaxation time. Nah, it probably won't be the last one, but they'll still be trading and stuff. But first, let's take a quick look at where the micro account is at. So we're at 29,201. We started with 25 flat. And I took two stupid trades in the afternoon, which I documented. And actually, well, I would have still been stopped out for the short, but I shouldn't have taken this one right behind it. It was kind of stupid. The short was the right play. It's just meandering about. Should have taken that and then been okay and left with that because I had prior to that 29,554. Now this is kind of annoying because I don't know why I took 2 contracts instead of the 10, and that would have netted me way more. Um, on I added one more and took one off, and then it was kind of silly. But anyway, just to roll back to when the account was actually created, let's like hide that in a moment. So 1127, there we are, flat 25,000. And the other weird thing is like since I've started trading the micros, I don't feel the need to reset the account, because it's starting to realize that, if I want to test something, I can do like one micro and test it and not lose like a ton. And that's okay. Like, this one was a test, like I'm just checking it out, see if it's going to be, if I'm in the right. And then if not, I don't lose like a couple 250 or something on that one. But the bigger trades, like this person was at long 10, and I took the full pull on that one. But anyway, so as you can see, and sometimes I half it if I'm not too confident with the trade, so I can reduce my risk, but still, if I'm right, make some profit. So that's another option that you see right here with 5 shares. And then, and I'm adding all of the 0.60s is my attempt at seeing the commission and what that would look like in the account. And like this is a short position for 10 contracts, only 255. I suspect my stop loss probably got hit on that one. And here's a scenario where I was taking off 8 and then 1 and then another 1, you know. So I like that. And here's a scenario where I got definitely my arse handed to me. I don't know how it got to 280. I think it just shot through it and just took extra ticks. And then, yeah, same day I started covering and I got it back. 1 shares here and there just to test things out. A bigger loss covered, got some extra back in, you know, with the accounts, and it's been pretty nice. And 1204. 2 losses, then, rolled back in a little bit, and then another, and it covered. And then the fifth, I took a nice, with the 8 shares again, I like that. And then 2, I got stopped out. But I mean, who cares? I'm in profit, right? Then stopped out on 10 shares. And then I think I tried again, stopped out at $50. And probably entered back in, took 2 shares. three off, whatever. Um, then the sixth lost two, and then recouped a little bit, not quite everything, but recouped a bit, so that's not bad. And then on the seventh, had a nice trade in the AM for 620, eight shares off again, and then two um, at the end there. And then on the eighth, testing out something, didn't get what I wanted on a long at the time, and then I got the 10 in, got eight out, and then got stopped out for two. Or did I close it? I don't remember. Whatever. And then some small tests with four shares, one share, two went for the 10, got stopped out again, got stopped out in the afternoon here. So Friday, this should have been a 10 share run, and I would have gotten my full pull, but I don't know why I got a little scared. But anyway, let's take a look at the trades. And let's backtrack from Friday onward, right? So I'll just dip in here. So first thing I want to note, right? We're obviously in a consolidation because I mean we've been in a consolidation and started to move up. Another thing that makes it blaringly obvious that we were in consolidation is all the opening range gaps just piled on top of each other, just piled on top of each other. And my general idea for the week was I wanted it to dip into this and then push higher, which it did a few times. In any case, so Friday's trade after non-farm payroll, like ICT took a trade here and let it ride and blah blah blah, and had a beautiful time. I was not in front of the charts for this because I would have also wanted to try something with this simply because in non-farm payroll, the first move is usually the Judas swing, right? Like it's a fake out move, and then once that's done, you can go in the opposite direction and get some good gains on it, which is obviously what happened here. So by the time I got in here, um, not that high, but this one. So let me put that back. Wait. So this one, when they took out this relative equal high right here, it's buy side. So that was where I took my morning trade. So let's come over here. Let's look at it really quickly. And I want to see what I could have done better. Okay, so once you took this out, so my first beautiful, beautiful morning trade was the shift right here. And that was the uh, that was the bigger trade I took right here. So actually, sorry, that was the second short that I should have taken right there with 10 contracts and did not. So I shorted from 16094. Sorry, 1605. No, yeah, 16094. So this is the second trade I took, and I took it with two contracts, and I added one more here. And I was aiming down here. And I was like, damn it. I should have taken my full 10 because it was perfect. It's a perfect 2022 model. Perfect. Sweep, a second sweep, shift, fair value gap on the 1 minute, take it, stop above here, write it down. Beautiful. And I think I was really sad that I'd only taken it with like two contracts. I look at that, like three, like I would have gone here. It's 237 ticks. Beautiful. Anyway, so the long um, I took a long similar scenario that was beautiful too, right? And I took a long position from 16043 and got out at 1678 for eight contracts. 16043. So it was just after 10 o'clock, somewhere around here. And I was watching as price was moving up. So I grabbed a long somewhere around here and then rode it up to 1673. I took eight contracts off there to lock in some profits, right? So 1643.25 and then 1673.50 is where I took off some 73.50. About right there. I took off like eight contracts there and I got in about right about here. When this was starting to roll up, I just like tagged in because I was like, yep, I know where we're going. I should have been okay with the entry because I had said if it tapped back, if it left here and then tapped back in here, I should take it, and I didn't. It was slow. And then I got spooked for the second half. I took it's got eight here, and then I re-entered when I closed two more, and then hold on, how many? It's like eight. And then I closed two more at 16,066.75 because I was worried. So that's eight. And then I re-entered, I think, right here. And then I felt like that was dumb. So I closed it. Let me just make sure I'm not crazy. It's 10.25, 10.18. No, this was like, I got flushed out of the long. I was like, I don't think it's going long. It's going up anymore. And then that's when I waited and I saw what I was looking for the short, but I only took two contracts and then I added one more. And so two, and then I added one more, and then I should have held those all the way down. At least I would have gotten like 300 or something out of that, but I didn't. You live, you learn. So that 2022 model has been working beautifully. You know what I mean? Like sweep above a high, another sweep, beautiful. And then this is just mainly me looking at price action and being, okay with the process. Now, what really irked me is on the 5 minute for the afternoon, there was a long that I wanted to take in the afternoon, right? Sorry, I just had to come back over it. Right here. And I still need to get comfortable with just taking it at, so we had all of these, uh, this, um, bullish order block basically. So all of these three, right? So I said to myself, I can take 10 from here once it leaves here. And if it comes back, I can get 10 contracts, stop below here and write it up to this high because I'd already taken this. And I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And then I got chopped up in here. Like I went short and I would have been stopped out because my entry was a bit bad. It was a little lower than I wanted it to, so I didn't want to incur all of this. But if I had done that, I would have been fine if I'd done what I was supposed to do, put my stop where it's supposed to go. And then I would have come down here and I would have had to deal with all of this BS, you know? But, and I didn't, 90 ticks was not enough. I would have wanted it to come drop properly. But, we've moved a lot. So, I wanted to take a quick look at this area here where I messed up, right? I don't know why I was feeling like it was just gonna run. And I felt like I missed my entry right here. So I shouldn't have even taken anything at all, if I'm being honest with you, right? Let's see. So if I had waited, so I think I grabbed it like down here instead of here where I could have. And that would have netted about 90 ticks and I would have been stopped up because I would have moved my stop into profit and then it would have tapped me out and that would have been it for me. But my general idea would have been for at least to take out this low down here, right? Relative equal. That one took it, that one's still there, something like that. But I was a bit rash and then I was like, oh my God, it's going up. So I switched. So I still need to deal with a little bit of psychological off. And I should have been okay. Like once this left here tapped in, I should have been okay taking the long in here to write it up. That would have been fine too. But I gotta get comfortable and trust my process. Anyway, so that was Friday. So let's go back. Let's run up to Thursday and let's go back one day, right? Also, they'd already like tapped into the point two and the point three for weeks. I'm just gonna delete that. and they were hanging out at the midnight opening price, which is exactly at this. Let's drop down to 5 minutes. Let me just delete that. Do a little cleanup for the new week. The midnight opening price is right on top of the new week opening gap. So let's get that out of there. Okay, beautiful. And the one last thing, because I knew they were going to come up for this volume imbalance, it's been sitting, well, technically, no, sorry, not that one. So I'm expecting them to fill this in next week, but I gotta analyze what's happening on the charts first to see what they might do prior to doing that. Anyway, so one thing to add really quickly in here is that's going to be, you know what? I should just create a base thing where I can reuse this. I don't have to keep, let's do a save as, new week, opening app, template. Okay, and save. All right. And now I can put, so this is going to be 12/11/23 when it opens. Let's drop to 1 minute so we can get the exact close. Right there. Perfect. Save. So now when Sunday opens, I'll have something. Anyway, in the meantime, let's roll back the clock. All right, so let's dip. Let's delete all of that. We don't need it for the moment. And let's replay back out. I want to look at Friday, Thursday, which, normally I would say I wouldn't want to, curious. Does that push them all back? No, just the one. Okay, good. Just want to make sure. All right, so Thursday, again, so this is Thursday, still pretty bullish. Let me delete all this, we don't need all this stuff. Oh, nope, not that. Just wanted to get rid of this. Okay, so Thursday, let me just take a look at the 10 o'clock. So midnight is down here, and they basically just ran up and took this high out. Now, this is on the 1 hour, right? So I was expecting this was going to be the draw right here. Tap that and drop, right? So let's see what happened around the 10 o'clock time frame. It's 15 minutes. Let's go. So what do we have? So 9:45 dropped right into that. Let's see. So I think, and I can't be super sure, but I was looking for a shift. So 9:50, we had a shift, fair value gap, tap here. I think I was just looking, so let's take a look at Thursday, right? Because I got a nice run on Thursday. The 7th. Yeah, I got a nice run on the 7th. And it was a short position. Let's make sure make sure I have the dates right. Yeah, so Thursday was the 7th. So I took a short. Wow, okay. And I took it, or it was closed around 9:49. Ooh, okay. So I must have seen something right up here. Yes. Right. So this is another 2022 that looked juicy. So I took a short, shift, fair value gap, and I just wrote it down to here. And then I took 8 off right here because, stuff. 15907. And then I let 2 run and then they got stopped out. But look how beautiful. 10, beautiful. Nice drop down. It's been a long time since I've been in a trade that didn't grind and just stress me out. So I think that's the only trade I took on the 7th, if I'm not mistaken. And then, yeah, so I took 8 and then 2 in the morning because I had to take mom to an appointment, right? So I never got a chance to do anything else for the rest of the day. So I took a short. So let's see what was available for the remainder of the day, like a proper review of what would have happened, say, for 10 o'clock. Let's dip back over here. So I took a short from here, and then did they give us some kind of opportunity for a long? Right. Pause for like a second there. Anyway, so I'm just wondering. So now I'm mainly just thinking about the silver bullet because I think like a good fair value gap on the 5 minute after this short and it ran. Is this the right day? It's Tuesday. Sorry. These freaking why it always does that. So I'm just going backwards and taking a look at what I could have done better. Okay, so that was at 11:15. So I would have been out. Okay. All right. So, what fair value gap do we have for? Do we have something in here? Let's look. So before I do that, there is one here, inversion fair value gap right here that held price up beautifully, and I wouldn't have taken that because it's past 11. But it did its job. So maybe when I'm more seasoned, I'll feel more comfortable to do the lunchtime run, you know? But let's drop down to a 4 minute, 3 minute. So I'm thinking about once 10 o'clock hit, like what do we have in this general vicinity besides this? And that probably would have been enough, you know? 2 minutes, just that. 1 minute. So 10 o'clock rolled up. I probably would have been okay with the respect. Look at it. The respect of the opening range gap. Like it's obvious that it's not trying to go up. And we did have a small shift here. And there was a fair value gap right in here. So it's not pretty. Could have tried it. But I would have wanted an entry at the top of this thing anyway. So let's see. What would we have had to sit through? Because I just want a 40 tick stop for everything if I could get away with it. Okay, so if I 40 ticks and then that's a lot. So with this guy, I would have been saying let's do that. I would have taken 8 off when it passed here and then seen if it would have gone back up. So that's one thing we could have done. The other thing is because once 10 o'clock hit, again, once we shifted above here, maybe we could have dropped to the 30 seconds. Let's see. Ugh, I hope it didn't plot me too far off from where I needed to be. Okay. So could have dropped to the 30 seconds down here to see what. Yeah, so we have more juiciness, right? So we have a shift, we had a small thing here. Yeah, so I would have been okay once we left here. I probably would have been like, okay, getting something, like once this made semi-equal, I probably would have been okay with something here. I gotta work on my hesitancy, you know? So like when it rolled up, it didn't quite make 0.779. Um, but we had a nice big fair value gap right here and a smaller one they dipped in. So once they did that, I might have been okay with taking something from here after that and then seeing how well it works. So if it came back and tapped into that, set my 40 tick because they already dropped back down. We have uh, the intermediate low, short-term low, short-term low. So I would have been doing something like that. But I want him to take this high out, obviously. And then there's a new week opening gap up here, so why not? So take 8 off here, and then let's see if we can't make our way this way, moving the stop accordingly. So stop would have been here for a while, and we would have gotten it at about, whoa, it would have meandered until I'm there. That's annoying. I might have closed it, honestly. That's just irritating. But that's something to look at, because we had a nice sweep here. I would have been looking for a nice shift up at that point to go in the opposite direction since it didn't continue down. And these telling me we're continuing up, just reading the price action. All right, let's go back up to a 5 minute and let's see what the afternoon would have netted us. So about 1:30, 1:45-ish, I start looking for something. And, I'm still very, very bullish. So they took this out. There's probably something over here to dip into, probably on like 15 or something. Let's see. Let's look at that. Let's look at what highs. So we'd already taken that out, broken into that. There's tiny, tiny fair value gap here. So whenever I look at these, highs that ain't broken now, I'm looking at the fair value gap that's above it to see how deep we might dip into it and recover it. So, there's that. So let's drop down to 1 minute and let's see what we got. So we dropped up here, 2 o'clock. So I'm finding that things tend to really move um in any particular direction around 2:30-ish, and there's like a proper run, right? Into the 3 o'clock time frame. So, I can either look for something around the 1:45 time frame to go up, and then once, wait until about 2:20, 2:30-ish to see if there's something else available, right? All right, so we're bullish still, right? And we've dropped down into this order block and fair value gap. So, and we're at this new week opening gap and inside of this volume imbalance. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I don't know how comfortable I would have felt, but we had a shift. We've been holding up. We started making higher lows. So we have an intermediate low and a short-term low and a short-term low, right? So we had a fair value gap in here. So let's see, what could we have done to keep our 40 ticks in place? And then aiming for, the fair value gap, aiming for to take that high out and then seeing how much higher it might want to go. As a test on that one. So they did give us, so what's really messed up is that they gave us, no, they didn't. Look at it. There's no shift here. There's no shift here. So that's a lie. Well, this could be considered a shift when he ran up above that. Yeah, but I wouldn't have liked that one. I might have even taken it and gotten stopped out. Yep. So, but this is before 1:45, so I wouldn't have even taken that. Time, man. Time is like amazing when you're thinking about these things. So about 1:45-ish, I would be thinking about, okay, what have we been doing? What do we have? We have this order block, that low. So I need to be by that low, measure it. All right, cool. So I could have taken the top of that order block, 40 tick, and then dealt with um, this drawdown, right? And then gotten about 8 off here, and then 2 running that way. So that wouldn't have been too bad. And then that zipped up and then dropped. Nice shift right here. Not the prettiest, but shift right here, fair value gap. They tapped into it. This, they didn't bother to tap that, and then they dropped again. So let's see, 3 o'clock gave us, we had this low, that low, short-term low formed here. We shifted above that. They gave us a small thing here. Lots of confluence to continue up. Why? We have a volume imbalance in here. We have the top of this new week opening gap, and we're at the top of opening range gap, and then the top of another new week opening gap. So that would have been nice. But the question is, if you'd taken that, what would you have gotten? No, okay. So once we dropped and we dipped into this, and then we dropped and then shifted again, fair value gap right here, that would have been a good entry for a short. And it looks like they did that. You would have had to sit, let's see, you had to sit through all of this foolishness here, but 40 tick stop would have taken good care of you. And then you could have written it down to there, potentially. So if we take the bodies, 2.5 to 2.5, it's not a lot. And 2.5 would have been 123. So I would have taken like 8 off probably once we like got to the 2 and then seen if the rest could play out, honestly. And then had my stop loss. Let's see, because once this dropped, then my stop loss would have had to be with an entry from here, would have to be up here. I'm realizing that I really need to just put my stop into profit and then just take partials and then know. And then if it's running, then move the stop up. And if I'm at my last like contract, move the stop up like real close to lock in as much as possible. And then if they want to like stop me out after that, who cares? Because I've taken monies, right? All right. So that's what we could have done on Thursday. The way this price has been moving around, right? Nice big move up on Thursday. All right, so let's do this. All right, let's look at Wednesday. 2 minutes. All right, um, so for Wednesday, the 6th, what did I have? The 6th, what did I have? I had, um, okay, so I had 2 losses at 10.19 with a long, and then a long, and then I covered with a long because I used 5 contracts. I had 2 10 contract losses, which was stupid because if I just used the 10, I could have covered properly for both. So I was taking the long too soon, I believe. So this got closed at 10.19. I entered the position at 10.18. Let's go see what I was doing wrong that day. I was trying to go long. It's Wednesday. Here. I was trying to go long here. All right, so let's look at the 5 minute. Yeah, so I was trying to go long. 10.18, that's 10.25. Let's drop to 1 minute. And let's scroll back over. Let's take a look at that entry. This is easier to look at it this way. I don't even know. So 12.06. I bought 12.06. Okay, so let's see. Uh, Limit order. Fill price 15,953.50 at 10.18. Oof. Yeah. So I was thinking this was a sweep, right? 10.18, and I thought there was gonna. So I took a long from here and got my ass handed to me. Great. And then, and then I took another long, 10.21 at 15,939. It's a market order. Lower down, 939. Because I thought it was a sweep. Go back up. Got my ass handed to me some more. 10.21. And then finally, I took 5 contracts, I believe, and recouped. It wasn't my best day of trading. I definitely did not can't say that I feel like I followed a proper model on that one. So TP to the 6th, right? So uh limit order 3, 10.32. hold on. Cancelled up. Right, here's the buy for the market. 15,897.25, and that was at 10:29. So that was really silly of me. So I got a good buy here, and I rolled up, and I took some off here, and yeah. Now what the hell was wrong with me? Seriously, that morning, that seemed like a silly day for me, a silly thing for me to be doing. Like I was like flying uphill instead of trying to go short. What would have been the silver bullet trade? Oh my God, look at that. It's really big, right? So this fair value gap, if I'd continued downward, right? This 5 minute fair value gap should be, right? Let's look at the 4 minutes. I didn't like that they made relatively equal highs here. There was a shift and they fair value gap, and they came back into it, tapped that, and then started dropping. The fact that they weren't once the body started dropping, I should have been uncomfortable taking. Oh, that's 11:24. Um, so I would have gotten the short just around in here if I were to try to get it before 10. So something like that. That's way too many ticks. I would have been stopped out, definitely. Definitely would have been stopped out. Let's see if there's anything on the 1 minute that would have been a nicer play. Shift, fair gap, never went back into it. Went back into that one. Tapped that. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that. Not at all. I wouldn't have gotten in here. I would have been confused AF. So that's fun. So I took a small bounce and then it fell. Then it came back. And then it fell some more. Did I take afternoon trades? Let's see. The 6th. So that's 11:02. So I took no afternoon trades. So good on me. All right, well, let's go take a look at the afternoon because this is a shit show for me. So as always, 1:45-ish around that general area is where I'm comfortable starting to look for something, right? So on the 5 minute, it's been a very bearish day. We had this shift up here, took that out. There's a fair value gap up here, but things to note and watch is the behavior at this inversion fair value gap right here. I'll be watching for those. So it came up, it dropped. I would have felt comfortable. So let's see if they gave us anything on the 1 minute to besides just entering on that puppy, because this is like 2:49. Ugh, that's ugly. 2 o'clock inversion fair value gap, because I would have wanted just something to get below this low, right? Which it did, but ugh, consolidation. This is what it looks like when it's consolidating, and it's just a shit show of price action. It's hard for you to tell what the heck it is that you would have done. Probably why I chose to not trade in the afternoon. And 250, because once it did this no shift here, final shift here dropped. I mean, I would have been utterly confused. I wouldn't have been able to take any of this, so I'm not even gonna try. That was just gross. Just this is some gross price action. And I would have missed that nice little run there. And just out of curiosity, so the highest, well, before that would have been created, I would have been doing something like this. just to estimate. Ooh, look at that. Rolled into the 0.2 nicely. And then if I'd use the wicks, let's use that low. One, and coordinated with not even. Yeah, so the bodies are a better play. Like ICT knows what he's talking about. That dude be knowing what he's doing. Okay. All right, so let's move on because I wouldn't have caught that. All right. Let's back up. So now we're on to Tuesday. So it's not from payroll. Oh, that's why Wednesday. Take trades in the morning before 11 and then stop. That's what I did on Wednesday. Just following ICT to the letter there. Beautiful. All right, let's see what fun things I did on the 5th. Okay, so on the 5th, it's a lot of canceled limit orders. Okay, so I took a trade in the afternoon and I took a trade in the AM. 5th was a busy day, apparently. Took a lot of trades. What? Or attempted and canceled. All right, so let's see what we would have been able to get away with. So I did a market fill for 10 contracts. And I set a limit for 8. Nice. So I got filled 9:07 and I took 8 off at 9:36 and then my stop got hit at 9:12. Okay, let's go take a look at it. So I had another one at 10:22. Oh, right, those are the limits that got filled. And then we had another market order again. And stop loss was canceled. What happened? Did I just cancel the limit order? Yeah, maybe. All right, let's go take a look. All right, so this is Tuesday. And let's look at this 5 to 15 minute of that. So I had these juicy lows to play with. 9:15, 9:30, we were running up. Okay. So let's drop to the 5 minutes and let's see what we would have been doing. So running, 9:45-ish. And would have been looking for something up here. So I almost recall like grabbing some off at the base of this thing, wanting it to go higher. Something like that. So let's take a look at the 1 minute on that. Okay, so let's see here. So we've been slowly grinding up, just slowly grinding up. And I, what did I do? Honestly, don't recall. With the slow grind up and it's relatively bullish, I would have wanted to go long, I would think. So I did go long. Okay. My entry was 15,907.75. 15,907. Oh, I did it in here. Because I was aiming for that, and then I moved my stop, and I think I got still stopped out in profit, but let's see. What day are we now? What day is it? The 5th. Okay, sorry. Just go back up here. Trying to understand what the heck I'm doing with my life. So I took a long at 15,907.75 and took 8 off of, and then got stopped out. Right. And I got this at 10:19. Okay, so let's go take a look. So 1019 right in here as it was moving up, most likely. 1019. So I was expecting movement up, so I took a chance, grabbed it in here, and then took 8 off when it tapped that. Then I moved my stop into break even and then got stopped out when it dropped. Yep. Um, yep. So that was that. Then the fee for the long, then I entered another long position with 10 shares at 5,975. And then I got stopped out because it dropped. And then I tried again at 1519 and I got stopped out. And then I tried with less contracts, 5, and that worked. And I ended up from 1588.75. The entry for the 5 contracts was 5924. Why did I do that? Oh, 15924, right up, probably somewhere in here as it moved up. I was just running it this way. Should have used the full thing. So at this point I was just like sweep. There's only really a shift. I wonder, was there something, a shift on the 30 seconds maybe? We're on Tuesday, right? So not really. It's just a drop into this right there, 10:30. So could have used this fair value gap, and then once it started moving away, then enter. I'm starting to find that I need like additional confirmation. So if it drops into an area where I think it is, I might take an entry that's a little bit away from that one just so I can confirm, because I've seen it blow past what I thought it was going to do in the first blasted place, and that's not cute. In any case, so by 11 o'clock, it just sort of melted, roll back up, and then melted some more. So I wouldn't have been in and of that. So Tuesday, what did the afternoon have for us? So again, about 1:45-ish, I start to look for potentials, right? So 1:45, we're right about here. So my general idea is I'm gonna look for like a sweep, you know? Look for a sweep of the lows, and then if it leaves a fair value gap, maybe try and enter from there and then see what happens. So that would have been 40 ticks. And that first run up would have been nice, just to take this high out right here. Nice. And then I would have taken probably 8 off right there. Let's see, what did I do in the afternoon? On the 5th. Yeah. Looks like I didn't catch that 2 o'clock run. I did go long at 2:39:23, and I got my ass handed to me. Then I went long at 3:22 because that made sense. Oh, so I might want to, like, whenever there's a sweep, look for a fair value gap like that. Because look at what's happening. We got a sweep, fair value gap, they tap into it, they run. You know? If it's the right kind of sweep anyway, you know what I mean? Like that one. And then I got a run around here, that sweep, fair value gap, and then run up. I didn't trust this, I didn't use a lot of contracts. So that's something to backtest for sure. All right. And then Monday of this week. All right, let's go to 15 minutes. What were we doing at in the morning? Let's see. So 3:30. All right, so 9:45 saw, and then 10 o'clock. Let's see what was on the 5 minute for like a silver bullet. I mean, it's been dropping, so a short makes perfect sense in this general vicinity. Is there a fair value gap in here? Nothing. 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 Just this tiny thing right here. Ooh. On the 2 minute, there's this thing right here on the 2 minute. Could have gotten that at 10:04 with a stop above here. I do recall taking this one and getting out just below here and then chickening out and not getting the full pull to here. So that was kind of sucky. Did I take anything else? Let's see on the 4th. This is the 4th? Yeah, the 4th is Monday. So I took a short and got my ass handed to me first. Then I took a cover with 5 and just to get my monies back. So I took it at 10:03. Like I know I wanted a short, but my entry was wrong. Um, that was at 15:08:34. Let's see. 15:08:34. Oh, I took it at the breakout down here, thinking maybe they wouldn't come back up, but they did. And then I should have cycled through to see where it was gonna roll back into for that. Is it clear on the 1 minute? There is a fair value gap on the 1 minute here as well. Yeah. So I need to be a lot more careful. Because like I said, I start from about 10:45 to see what, and then, these guys ran up and then turned around. Anyway, so let's go back to, so I caught that, but not with all the shares I should have caught it with. All right, so about 2 o'clock here. So what do we have? So it looks like they decided to chill inside of this. Let's see. Let's drop to a 1 minute. So what does 145 have for me? So 145 was here. It's a down day. It's dropping. I highly doubt I would have caught that. So, but let's double check. The 4th. So I think I got my, yes. So I covered about 5, 3, 2. No, I bought 10. Yeah, I bought 10, took 5 off, got some money, and took 3 off at a point, and then took 2 off. Nice. So it was a good morning, and then I didn't get anything, I didn't take anything until 2:14 for a long position. 2:14. Oh, so I was expecting and I got shook out. So the long was actually down here. 3 something. I think I got in after that. But I think I got stopped out twice for that. Wait, again, let's scroll back down. So much scrolling. All right. Yeah, so I got stopped out twice and then I went try to go short. Stupid. Then I went back to going long, but I only took 5. I took 10 contracts, and that's where I covered 5 off there, took 3 off there, and then took 2 off again. And that was good. And that was the end of that. So mainly just made back the losses from there with these. So the morning is where I made the monies, and the afternoon I just sort of broke even. But anyway, so what could I have done better this Monday? So that's the PM session. AM session had a sweep, shift, bullish breaker, Bullish breaker. Once they swept above here, it tapped back into the breaker. Just curious how far back they went. Both of those are the breakers technically, but let's take a quick look here. Well, all right. We're about to bring this one to a close after we look at this really quickly. This little area here on the 5 minute. Let's jump to the 1 minute and see what they did after that shift. So we dropped, and then we had a short-term shift here. No fair value gap. No fair value gap we can see on the 1 minute. But there's a juicy one on the 30 seconds that we could have taken it from. I really need to cycle through and check, these things. And then I would have done better, I think. We would have probably, if we tried 10:30, if we tried here, we would have been stopped out for sure. So it really is a, game of probabilities. It really, really is. All right, guys. All right, fam. Let's call it a morning for now. I've got yummies to make and ultimately eat. Be safe. Hope your progress is coming along nicely. I think I'm almost ready to get started. My win rate has come up from 20 something to 35%. So once it crests over 50, then I'll fund it myself. Anyway, so be safe. Drop a comment down below and let me know how your journey's going. And Shakira out.